Hey guys, welcome back to part 4 of this video. A quick recap. So if you just joined part 1, we are setting up the MacBook and Claude part 2. We connected Claude to Alpaca with API keys. And the last video, Claude analyzed 5 years of stock data and plays a smarter limit buy than I would have ever picked myself. That order is sitting in the market right now. But here's the thing, up until now, I've been the only one making every decision. Today that ends. In this video, we're building a bot that buys the stock, watches the price every 5 minutes, and I've modified it later on to 3 minutes, and it knows exactly when to sell all by itself. While I'm at work, while I'm asleep, it runs on something called a trailing stop, and I promise you, it's way simpler than it sounds. I'm going to explain it with a video game analogy, and every time I type today, it is in that prompt library, linked to that description. Copy and paste, follow along. One thing before we start, this is all still paper trading. Real market, zero risk. We test everything here first. That's the whole point. All right, so let's build the bot. Let's continue. All right, so now we're getting into the part that actually blew my mind when I first saw this. We're gonna build a bot that buys the stock for you and then watches it for you while you go live your life, while you're at work, while you're with your kids. The bot is just sitting there watching that price, and it knows exactly when to get out. And the way it does that is through something called a trailing stop. Now I know that sounds like some Wall Street term that's gonna go over your head. It's actually super simple once you see it. Think about it like a video game. You know how every time you hit a new checkpoint, the game saves your progress? So even if you die, you don't start from the very beginning. You respawn at that last checkpoint. Every single time the stock price climbs to a new high, the bot saves a new checkpoint. It locks in that level as your new floor. And as the price keeps going up, that floor keeps rising with it. So here's exactly how it works step by step. First, the bot buys the stock. You tell it what to buy. It places the order through Alpaca automatically. You don't have to do anything. Then it starts watching the price every 5 minutes. Every time that price hits a new high, the bot notes it, records it. That becomes the new peak. And here's the key. Every time a new high is hit, the floor rises with it. The floor is always sitting a set percentage below the highest price the stock has ever reached. It only moves one direction, up, never down. And the moment that stock drops below the floor, the bot sells. No hesitation, no second guessing, it just sells. Done. Let me show you exactly what that looks like on a real chart. So let's say you buy a stock at $100, the price climbs to 142. Your bot has been raising that floor the whole way up. So by the time it hits 142, your floor is sitting right around 128. The second the stock drops back down and touches that floor, boom, sold. You just locked in $28 profit per share without touching anything. And this is the difference between this and a regular stop loss. A regular stop loss just sits at one fixed price forever. It doesn't move, but a trailing stop follows the price up. It rides with you the whole way. So you never leave money on the table by getting out too early. The rules the bot follows are dead simple. The trail percentage is 10%, so the floor always sits 10% below the highest price the stock has hit. The bot checks the price every 5 minutes during market hours. That's 9:30 to 4 Eastern time. And the emotion level, 0. No panic selling, no greed, no checking your phone every 2 minutes, pure rules. It just runs. And we're doing all of this on paper trading first, so there is zero real money at risk while we test it. That is the whole point of setting up Alpaca the way we did in part 2. So what we're about to do right now is go into Claude and tell it to build exactly this. It's gonna buy a stock, check the price every 5 minutes, raise that floor every time a new high is hit, and sell the second the price drops through. All automated, all running by itself. We want to make sure we fill in the stock ticker, which in this case you already know, we're doing it for DFTX. The number of shares, so it's a limit buy, so we won't be able to know until we actually get into the market tomorrow. The hard floors, the interval is 5 minutes. So, and that's kind of it. So this is kind of like the things that you would be prompting it first. So you're going to copy this, your Claude session, and you're going to command it. And obviously these are not filled yet, so we're always gonna make sure that Claude is in the known of what we expect it to do. So when you give it this, it doesn't have any percentages, it doesn't have anything else but just like minimal kind of prompts, which I've templated out for you. So for now, it doesn't know much. So what do we do next? We're gonna talk to it. We're gonna have to make sure that it gives us the right response.
I think for every ticker we get, it's going to be a different response. For every strategy that we come into, we just have to better mold it and have some critical thinking skills on this step. But I'm just going to give you guys a light example of how I do it with the market close and how I'm doing my analytics for tomorrow. Mind you, we already downloaded a lot of data for this. So this is the trailing stop Babysitter bot spec. I can build it. So it's actually already knowing that it could build something. And we're gonna just be very sure that we read what it says, so we're not like just going crazy here. The day rule. So this is the one that we also didn't fill out, and I need to choose. It has a big red question mark. So it says hold overnight or sell at close. I'm personally gonna sell at close. So I'm gonna put sell at close, and I'm gonna select something here. Just build it. Prompt is gonna pretty much be telling it, you're a master trader, you're an expert, and you're trusted, and you're dealing with, hundreds, if not millions of dollars. So there it is. It's gonna actually take this into consideration. Please make sure you're an Opus 4.8, and then you're also really high when it comes to critical thinking. You want the smartest for this, right? Because you're building some really critical AI bot logic. Allow Claude to run, cancel old orders, and place disciplined $43 limit entries. So it actually is thinking about how to strategize even from my old limit, which was a patient limit at $41. It's actually telling me $43 is smarter. So it's going over my actual strategy and replacing it with 43 bucks, which is fine. I'll follow through with what it says. Let's do it. The trader for DFTX is a Parabolic micro cap, and up to 2x off it's a 20-day low, trading at 44.78. So it's just taking all the stuff into consideration, and it's telling you why the decision was made, and it's overriding the 41.40 limit. So the risk caveat here is a 10% stop, and then an 11-day volatile stock that would be very likely whipsaw. And as you guys can tell, end of day close is locked in already. So end of day close means that at 4 or 3:55 p.m. it would sell everything you have in your portfolio. So that's great. So allow Claude to dry run test and the Babysitter bot. It's actually calling itself the Babysitter bot, which is fine. I'm cool with that. It sounds actually pretty rad. And find Python path to show current cron tabs. Allow. So this is actually something that most people don't know, but Claude uses Python, which is the primary coding language behind the scenes here, guys. How it interacts with a MacBook, which is a Linux system, it's actually going to take terminal.
Terminal is where we give your Mac commands. There, we set up Cron, which automatically launches your Claude-powered Python AI bot on schedule. What is a cron? A cron job is an automatic timer that runs tasks in the background. Mac uses cron, while Windows uses Task Scheduler. For our project, we'll set up cron through terminal to automatically launch our Python AI bot at scheduled times.
So there you go, guys. It's actually wiring the API, making sure the cron tab is there, making the floor. As I mentioned, it's making a trail stop bot. So this is wonderful. And we're going to continue to give it more prompts, believe it or not. So this is just the tip of the iceberg you guys are watching here. So please be sure to stay tuned. So my master travel caveat stands at 10%, stops at 11.5 a day volatility. Name will be very likely whipsawed and normal noise. The bot is exactly what you specified. I'm not going to pretend the parameters are well matched to this stock. None of this is financial advice. there's something called scheduling, which is in the Cowork tab, and you can go into your scheduling section and you can build new tasks for it. But you can also go to code, and since we're working out of a folder, you can actually prompt it to go at 9:30 as soon as the market opens, and you can actually prompt it to give you the best strategy for limit buys, the best strategy for floors, the best strategy for volatility movements, and all of that good stuff. But for now, we're just going to leave it as is. We're going to go on to the next prompt, and we want to go back to our master prompt file, which is going to be the trailing stop bot full strategy. So this is where we really get serious with the bot. We're just going to copy and paste the whole thing. It's going to go a little wonky on us because it's a lot to take in, but this is the longest prompt I promise that we're going to give it so far. As you guys can tell, this is 7 steps. So cross our fingers here that this actually performs well. And it's just going to give it way more details, right, of like what we want this AI bot to do. And from the beginning, while this thing runs, we're just going to ask it for a pre-flight check, which is kind of like, you know, before you actually take off in a real flight, you have to make sure your system is well for flights, right? And in this case, we want to make sure that essentially your Claude AI bot is doing well before we take off to making orders and trading in the real stock market. Even when it has paper money, we're actually trading this for real money eventually. That's the objective. So the buy, so we want to make sure that we know what we're doing. And we're just running it through this large prompt, which is, once again, in the description. You don't have to do anything. It's just working through it. And then market open, no, it's closed, server time. It's telling me right now the time frame it is. It's already you know, midnight. So all right, so there you go. It's actually giving me all this stuff that we already had, and this is great because you know, you're currently buying $1,300. And it's already reassuring me that we've already created the Babysitter. You know, that's what it's calling itself, which is crazy. I don't know where it came up with that name, but I like it. Tell me the values. How do you want to handle 2 and 3? And I'll have everything staged for fire cleanly at 9:30 a.m. So then this is the conflicted part, and this is where I think I want to further strategize on. So it's asking me for 2 and 3. So it's asking me like, hey man, like, you know, you only have $9 left, because right now we're scheduled to buy, you know, a limit of $43 on prices, and out of $1,300, it looks like it's already buying, you know, a lot of stocks, which is 30 shares according to $43 or whatever it is. So obviously the way I want this to happen is like, I wanted to give it a lot of power, and I'm going to do that right now. Anyway, I'm going to go grab the next prompt to save some time for all of us. So we want to make sure that we schedule it. Obviously, this is kind of like the same prompt that I just kind of word vomited through, but this is a more structured kind of event. And this is more for scheduling as well. So we want it to be scheduled. And let's get back to our Claude. This one's going to take a little bit. I'm not going to lie. This one's going to be like thinking about, you know, man, I got all this autonomous power to buy, sell, and trade. And this is really where you're like shaping the logic of your bot. And this is where things get critical, because you need to backtest this using this AI bot for, I think, a few days with paper money. You don't want to put this into real money right away. I do not recommend that. The only way you can trust it is by seeing how it performs. And the only metrics that you have is talking to it and actually organizing its thoughts for you. I think it's just beautiful how actually AI came to be. If you guys haven't really checked out Geoffrey Hinton, he's a Nobel Prize winner for creating the neural network for AI. He's the one that really developed it and really started feeding it all of what it knows. The neural network itself works like the human brain. That was the original design. And as you can tell, the large language models now mimic that. With quantum, I don't even want to get into that. I mean, it's something crazy. There's something called Q-Day.
Q-Day is the future moment when a powerful quantum computer becomes capable of breaking much of the encryption protecting today's digital world. That includes the public key security used for banking, private messages, government systems, digital signatures, and cryptocurrency wallets. The biggest danger starts before Q-Day. Criminals and governments can steal encrypted information today, store it, and decrypt it once quantum technology becomes powerful enough. This is known as harvest now, decrypt later. Nobody knows exactly when Q-Day will arrive. But because replacing encryption across the world could take years, governments and companies are already transitioning to post-quantum cryptography, new security designed to withstand quantum attacks.
Looks like we have a little bit of prompting to come back to. Let's take a look. So right now it's arming itself and it's disciplining itself supposedly, right? But we won't see till tomorrow realistically. Using everything here and it's making a dry run. It's actually testing it from its already known data. I should have probably mentioned it's actually looking for a time frame to have that dry run in, and that's what it's actually just kind of going through, as you could tell. I should have just said yesterday or this past week, maybe even last week and this week as a time frame. But it's searching all the bars and all the kind of metadata for the trades. Now it's going to actually run that full dry run. Let's see what happens here. So it's actually talking amongst itself, strategizing amongst itself, performing the dry run amongst itself. It's doing everything by itself. This is really autonomous as it is. It's just so givenly smart, right? Like the IQ is above any of us, right? Like a lot of us are super smart and that's beautiful, but for us to actually understand AI, you have to just kind of follow through with it. And that's what I've been doing. And it just makes you a little bit smarter, because the more you interact with something that's smart, you actually become smarter yourself, because it gives you critical thinking skills that you never even could have thought you could have adapted to. And that's what you're doing now. You're adapting to AI's thinking, which is really advanced. So it looks like connected, 1300, buying, 0, state limit canceled, none, flat, armed, crons, runs every 5 minutes, closed until 9:30, nothing trades tonight. Boom. That's great. What are you doing next? It's until you grant access. System privacy full disk. So we want to make sure we read this part, because the system setting, I guess right now that I have on my MacBook, it's blocking it from performing the cron jobs logs. So let's make sure that we get that active. So system settings is going to be here, right? And then privacy and security, which is going to be here. And then we're going to full disk access. Check that out. So it looks like we're gonna add, I'm gonna put in my password or my fingerprint for that matter. Now you're gonna actually do that where you are searching for this code. It looks like you're gonna be searching for that, or Command Shift G as it said, and then it's gonna take me to that folder. Okay, this is wonderful. On right here, open, and I added it. So I toggled it on. Yes, I will be here the next few days trying to train the best and most disciplined and maximal profit bot. Locked. The last run has failed with allow once. So it's actually gonna allow it now. Cron test passed, which is great. It has, full access now. It looks like it actually corrected itself because it had a false alarm from the tail 3. And if you guys just tuned in and have no idea what's going on still, then that's fine. Look at my other videos and try to follow through. And if you guys got to this point, you guys have now built a pretty steady Alpaca API trading bot with Claude. So that was the goal. Now we are gonna start becoming profitable after we perfect our paper trade account. And thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys joining me on this adventure. And if you guys have anything to comment, please do it in the chat. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. I'm gonna stop the video here. If you guys have any questions at this point, please drop them in the comments. If you guys have the willpower to follow the next one, please stay tuned.
Our time was sweet, but now it's done. I'll check.
Goodbye.